Could Andretti Autosport join Formula One soon? Yes, Andretti Autosport's attempt to join Formula One is gaining steam. The team revealed their partnership with Cadillac for their F1 attempt on Thursday. Andretti's hypothetical team would use Cadillac engines. Current engine manufacturers in Formula One include Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, using repackaged Honda engines and transmissions. Welcome to our YouTube channel and today's episode. We will discuss today Andretti Autosport partnering with Cadillac in an attempt to join Formula One. Before you continue, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to avoid missing our future content. Eager to find out the answer to whether or not Andretti Autosport will join Formula One soon? You better keep watching. With the announcement of a partnership with General Motors on Thursday to provide Cadillac engines for the prospective team, the United States Andretti Global is getting its entry into Formula One up and running. Yep, you heard right, Andretti teams up with GM to enter the Formula One Championship with a Cadillac. Andretti is in talks with GM about forming a Formula One team that would see the Cadillac name on the grid. However, to do so, they will need the approval of both F1 and the FIA, which won't happen before 2026. Owner Michael Andretti is optimistic about his team's genuine American bid. With the help of General Motors, Andretti has entered Formula One in the hopes of bringing the renowned Cadillac brand with it. Michael Andretti, the owner of one of F1's teams, has been trying to persuade the sport's governing body, the FIA, to add an 11th team to the current 20-team field. This is despite his failed attempt to buy Sauber in 2021 and the opposition of the existing F1 teams, who fear that adding a new one will cut their profits. The moniker Andretti is instantly recognizable to fans of Formula One. Michael Andretti raced in 13 F1 events in 1993. His father, Mario, won the F1 World Championship in 1978. Andretti Autosport and other Andretti ventures are subsidiaries of Andretti Global, which operates teams in 7 championships worldwide. Most notably, the team fields 4 cars in the IndyCar series. The team has won the Indianapolis 500 5 times in 2005, 7, 14, 16, and 17, and the IndyCar Series Championship 4 times since Michael Andretti joined the team, 2004, 5, 7, and 12. But in recent races in IndyCar, the squad has been unable to find success. Both Alexander Rossi and Colton Herta won a single race in 2022, with Rossi finishing 8th in the standings and Herta 12th. The Grand Prix series could see as many as 3 new manufacturers in the upcoming seasons if Andretti Cadillac is granted an F1 spot. In 2026, Audi and Porsche plan to join the series. The FIA's top series, which now features 10 teams, is hoping to capitalize on its growing popularity in the United States. In 2022, the series expanded to the United States with a race in Miami, Florida, joining the already established race in Austin, Texas. The Las Vegas Grand Prix will be one of 3 US events that year. Well, that's not all. Now, when FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayman opened up the possibility for new teams to join the grid, a partnership between one of America's most renowned racing teams and its largest automotive company was revealed. Andretti would have its headquarters in Indiana, General Motors would supply engines and parts, and Cadillac, a division of GM, would be a sponsor and participant. Andretti Cadillac Racing is the proposed moniker for the squad. Even though other prospective companies besides Andretti are investigating F1, the media and news have accepted that there would be no new entry before 2026. Even more, it didn't end there. To be considered, each new entrant must have F1 and FIA approval. The reaction of Ben Sulayman upon hearing Andretti's statement, he remarked and said, "As the FIA states, today's news from the United States is an additional indication of the popularity and expansion of the FIA Formula One World Championship under the FIA supervision." He then elaborated, "Aside from General Motors Cadillac, interest has also come from Andretti Global, another legendary brand." He continued to say, "As the FIA's 2026 PU standards have already garnered an entry from Audi, any new entrants would bolster this trend." A formal expression of interest process would take months to complete and adhere to all FIA regulations. In other words, what Andretti now brings to the F1 party. Andretti also stated that the announcement, which came after 4 months of talks with GM, proves that American car makers can give the Andretti endeavor the extra value that competitor teams have argued new teams must bring to F1. According to Andretti, one of the main things was, what does Andretti contribute to the party? Well, now we've got one of the world's largest manufacturers on board with General Motors and Cadillac. We think that was the last thing we needed to do, and now we can cross that off our list. It's impossible to argue with my claim that we'll bring a lot of new interest to Formula One. Formula One instantly responded in the same tone it has used since Andretti began pushing for expansion, saying that it has other parties interested in entering the series and that Andretti is merely the most visible. His father, Mario Andretti, won the Formula One championship in 1978. F1 said in a statement, "There is significant interest in the F1 project at the moment, with several conversations continuing that are not as prominent as others. Any new entry request will be evaluated by the appropriate stakeholders based on criteria designed to keep the championship credible and stable." Despite F1's claim, Andretti said he is confident that Andretti Global is the best contender. He acknowledged that F1 had not informed him of other potential suitors. "We have the opportunity to combine our motorsport passions with GM and dedication to innovation to produce a truly American F1 contender," Andretti said. "We will continue to work together by FIA evaluation methods and guidelines. Meanwhile, we remain optimistically ready if Andretti Cadillac is granted official approval as a Formula One contender." You may be curious though about Andretti Cadillac's F1 engine choices and the potential of their works team. The Andretti Cadillac F1 team would be a semi-works outfit because it would use a customer engine. As earlier mentioned, as the FIA gets ready to begin a procedure to accept expressions of interest from possible entrants, Andretti and General Motors have teams forced to chase a spot on the F1 grid, possibly for the 2026 season. The team would operate as a proper startup, with offices at the new Indiana factory Andretti is constructing and the United Kingdom, as well as access to General Motors' extensive network of technical facilities in the US. The vehicle is not as self-sufficient as others due to its engine design. The decision to use an outside engine for the inaugural Andretti Cadillac F1 car was presumably driven by timing and capacity concerns. While GM CEO Mark Rose said there is a written agreement with the power unit supplier to begin with, Michael Andretti described this partnership as more of a collaboration with another company. It is a well-established manufacturer rather than a would-be upstart. The most obvious conclusion is that it is a Renault. When Andretti first began advocating for a 2024 entry, he reached out to the French manufacturer and agreed in principle with them. Unlike Mercedes and Ferrari, representatives from Renault have only spoken positively about the Andretti effort. Former Alpine CEO and head of Renault's work Formula One's project Laurent Rossi indicated in May 2017 that he had spoken with Andretti and backed the team's attempt to join the grid. It has been speculated that Honda will join forces with Toyota in 2026. The partnership between Honda and GM stems from their 2018 joint work on battery technologies for electric vehicles. Since Rose did not directly deny Honda as the supplier he was thinking about when asked, people have taken this possibility quite seriously. The company obviously does not have a major partnership with Honda, but we also compete against Honda in series like IndyCar, he explained. There are no issues with our mutual respect and friendly relationship. We'll talk about the engine piece at a later date. I bet you can see right through that. Nevertheless, this was just an attempt to avoid the topic altogether, as it is widely believed that Honda is not the supplier that Andretti had in mind. Honda creating an F1 engine for another firm, the largest in the US, which is such an important market for Honda, to badge and use to promote one of its brands globally is an entirely different proposition than collaborating on the technology within mass production vehicles. However, it would help if you did not discount the unpredictability of Honda's actions. Having been first connected with working as a partner of Red Bull powertrains, Honda is now seriously considering creating its engine to F1's new regulations in 2026. Still, it has not yet made a decision. Honda's decision to leave Formula One at the end of 2021 will allow the automaker to devote resources to developing zero-emissions vehicles. As such, it is still putting together and servicing the V6 turbo hybrid engines it currently provides to Red Bull and AlphaTauri. Its structure is very different from when it was an active manufacturer. It is believed that only a minimal R&D team is keeping an eye on the 2026 F1 regulations. Sources have revealed that a Honda return is far from certain due to the little time remaining for the company to make a decision and restore its facilities to their full splendor to embrace a 2026 F1 project. As a result, it's highly doubtful that Andretti and Cadillac will choose them as their 2026 partner, which increases the likeliness that Renault, which currently has no client teams in Formula One but is eager to change that, is the supplier that is being lined up. Finally, some in F1 see the latest iteration of Andretti's F1 bid as nothing more than General Motors sticking a Cadillac sticker on an Andretti and calling it a works team. General Motors will have plenty of time to disprove that claim should their entry be approved. The only thing that could prove it more clearly would be if Cadillac eventually built an F1 vehicle around its engine. Thank you for watching today's episode. Let us know what you think about this in the comments below, and make sure you like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and until next time.